Also joining me is Mr. Pinak Ranjan Chakravarty. He joins us from New Delhi. Mr. Chakravarty is a former Indian ambassador to Thailand and High Commissioner to Bangladesh. He also served as the Consul General of India in Karachi. Ambassador Chakravarty, welcome to DD India News Hour. If I may begin by asking you, how do you read the election based on what we know about how the campaign has evolved over the last few weeks?
You're calling it an election. I would call it a selection because things, it's a sense of deja vu, kind of history repeating itself. You had Nawaz Sharif being booted out to various convictions in courts on certain charges. Now all those charges have been dropped and he's back fighting an election. And hopefully, as the army sort of candidate, will become the next prime minister. Imran Khan, who took on the army and somehow fell foul of various their interests, is now languishing in jail. He's got 10 years for various offenses, including revealing of state secrets, and including your viewers will be very surprised to know for an un-Islamic marriage. I mean, the army is certainly very innovative in terms of, bringing up charges like these and getting, of course, the very pliant courts to convict him. So this is the situation. And I do not think that this can be called a free and fair election. And many countries also think that this is not free and fair. It has never been in Pakistan because the army basically, pulls all the strings behind the scenes, and sometimes not so behind the scenes when they actually intervene and take over power. Almost half its, life as a free country, the army has been in power directly and indirectly behind a civilian facade.
Ambassador Chakravarty, what do you make of Nawaz Sharif's return to active politics? Also, do you think Imran Khan's party, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, is still in the reckoning?
I doubt it, because they would have disqualified almost all their candidates, which is a standard, kind of ploy to eliminate opposition. Once the army decides that a certain candidate has to win, and in this case, and this time around it is Nawaz Sharif, then all the opposition is generally, decimated, by putting them in prison for various charges or not accepting their nominations and rejecting them on certain grounds. So that's how the situation has been. And I do not think that the opposition has any chance of challenging the chosen person, that the army has chosen, and the party the army has chosen to be the next government, to form the next.
And finally, Ambassador Chakravarty, you call it selection. Well, call it selection or election. Will it at all change Pakistan's calculus against India?
I don't think so.
Why do you say that?
No, because Mr. Nawaz Sharif, who has been the Prime Minister for the most number of times, will certainly be very, very circumspect in terms of crossing the red lines of the army, because then he will suffer the same fate that he has suffered earlier, and doesn't want to go to prison again. After all, he is getting older and doesn't want to do things that will annoy the army. So he will say things, but I don't think he's going to do things that the army doesn't want him to do. And that includes the relationship with India.
All right, Ambassador Chakravarty says the election or selection, as he calls it, will not change Pakistan's calculus, and Nawaz Sharif might talk all right, but it might be difficult for him to walk the talk. On that note, Ambassador Chakravarty, thank you so much for joining us on DD India News Hour. Appreciate it. Thank you.